Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Three Houses Blind. So we are just about to do some exploration. Last time we took care of some monsters, some mobs, some instructions, and some certifications, which is actually pretty exciting. But we're gonna hop into exploration, take care of that, do some more instruction, probably do more exploration next week with food involved apparently. And finally end our month with some Yuritsa. I don't know what that's going to be about, but I assume we'll find out. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and explore. I will cut in as we find things of interest. See you guys! Ooh, 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 ooh! Yay! I leveled up. Nice! Ooh. Gotcha.
Working hard, aren't you? I'll admit, I'm impressed. I can assist with any tasks or help with your students.
Wait.
On it. I'm available anytime I'm not on a mission.
Whoa! Nice. Cool. For real? Oh my gosh, she's in my roster. Holy crap, her bow is A rank? She's only a level 11. That's kind of lame. Oh well. Wow. Jeez. What else does she do? Let's take a look. She is 25. Okay. I was wondering how old she actually was. Oh, jeez. Basically a buff for knocking down an enemy. Oh, she has no crest. Interesting. She is a sniper. Really good dex. Not so great HP. Oh, she has an intermediate seal. Well, that's pretty cool. There's archers. Yeah. She doesn't like faith. Yeah. And she's advanced. How is she advanced when I can't even do that until level 20? Come here! How do you do that? Okay, anyway. She's just fancy. Ooh, she participated in the Dagda and Brigid War? I did not know that. That makes a lot of sense that she... Oh, the Petra would be a close ally of hers. Ooh, yikes. Okay. Alright, well yeah. Sweet. We did it. Let's move on. Ooh, there's a note. Yes, please. There's someone whose crest I wish to study. I've asked many times, but I can't get them to consent. There must be some way to persuade them. Nothing beats sincerity. Hey. That was pretty straightforward. Whoops. Well, there we go.
Welcome, Professor. This is the first time I have welcomed you here, is it not?
So we're on C support for Rhea, which is pretty awesome. Had some gifts I didn't know what to do with, so I just kind of dumped them on her instead. Perfect. I haven't really done anything with her yet, so I mean, I did get some advice from Kalina that I really should work on her sooner rather than later. So here we are.
There is no need to be nervous. Please, come closer. When you speak with me here in this room, you are not speaking with the Archbishop, but with Rhea. It's just me.
Okay. Understood.
Such a sweet child. My apologies. I should not be treating you like a child. As Gerald's kin, somehow you don't seem at all a stranger to me. Speaking of Gerald, may I ask if he ever spoke of me to you?
Awkward. Oh boy. Well, this is not good. I mean, there is a moment where he spoke of Rhea, but that was like right after we arrived. And he was like, don't trust her. That's about all we can go by. So, not incredible, not frightening. Didn't really talk about her. Ever. In fact, I didn't even know who she was until we got to the monastery, as far as I'm aware.
Oh dear, how heartless of him. In any case, let us endeavor to become closer from here on out. Since you are here, shall I tell you about the Gerald that I knew?
Oh dear. Okay.
By the look of it, you haven't heard much about his time at the monastery, have you? When I first met Gerald, he was quite young. Why, he could not even grow a full beard at that point. On one fateful occasion, the band of mercenaries he belonged to fought alongside the Knights of Seiros. I was traveling with the Knights at the time, and Gerald jumped in front of an attack meant for me. He was gravely wounded, on the verge of death. I tended to his wounds in a desperate attempt to save his life. Thankfully, my efforts were not in vain. Gerald managed to escape a seemingly certain death. I made arrangements for him to receive further care at Garrick Mach. The moment he was deemed fully recovered, I invited him to join the Knights.
I didn't know. Thank you for telling me.
Well, it is not a story I have often repeated.
There are support options in the middle of supports? Crap. That has not been available in any other support that I can recall. I'll keep that in mind.
Even at the monastery, there are not many who know that. I tell you this because, to me, you are the child of the one who saved my life all those years ago. And also...
Yes?
Never mind. It is nothing. I simply wanted to say that I trust you. By coming to visit with me today, you have... well... suffice it to say that my day is brighter than it otherwise would have been. I thank you for that.
I'm so confused. I mean, that's good. I just don't understand. I know that's like a really... I'm supposed to feel really nice about having spent some time with her, and she seems really nice. But we've also seen the Archbishop, Rhea, as well. The one willing to put men to death for opposing her instead of working to, you know, help them. Bring them over to her side. I don't know. It's just really weird to me.
May the goddess protect...
I'll go ahead and get some faculty training done, though. Yeah, that's a good idea. Alright, we will cut in when the next interesting thing comes up. See then? Okay, we've got some support conversations to knock out. We got a couple with Jax. Huzzah! And then we have a few between party members as well. So we're going to knock those out real quick. Let's see what we got going on.
Professor.
Hello, Lorenz. Now is a good time.
Professor, have you been looking for me again?
Yes. Yes, I have.
I am very busy, you know. I must insist that disruptions for light-hearted chats of this kind be kept to a minimum.
I've been getting more complaints. It just continues.
What did I tell you about falling victim to such salacious and slanderous rumors? As I've told you, there is obviously a conspiracy against me. There is no manner in which I could possibly be considered bothersome.
The girls actually do seem bothered, Lorenz. I promise.
Professor, I assure you, you have been deceived.
He seems a little less confident about it now.
My adversary has poisoned the hearts of these ladies against me. The plot goes deeper than I thought.
This could become a serious issue.
All right, let's not get carried away. Please understand, Professor. I am not some scoundrel out for conquest. I am attempting to fulfill my duty as heir of House Gloucester.
Uh-huh.
It is my responsibility to continue our noble line by finding a suitable lady to be my wife. It is a rigorous process. My family has the very highest standards for appearance, grace, temperament, and pedigree.
So, commoners are excluded?
Typically, yes, even if others are sometimes critical of that notion. For the nobility, marriage is not merely a union of individuals, it is also a union of families.
It makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense.
It would not benefit House Gloucester to be tied to a family of powerless commoners, would it?
You don't have to put it that way, but I understand where they're coming from.
To achieve supremacy, it is necessary for my line to be tied to that of an influential family. That is the best path to peace and prosperity for all of Fodlan. So as you can see, the fate of the whole world rests upon my shoulders.
It's quite an obligation.
If it is a burden, it is one I am all too familiar with. We nobles are born to this duty. That being said, to avoid misunderstandings, I shall restrain myself until things calm down.
Thank you, Lorette.
I would rather not cause trouble for you after all.
He looks so simple from a side. When you look at him straight, like straight on his face, he has kind of a conniving look to him. Poor guy. Let's see, was it right out here? It was. I think that's Ignatz. Yep. Let's check him out.
Okay, I've decided on the composition.
Perfect. Composition.
That's right, the composition for my next paint. Wait, Professor? How long have you been standing there? You haven't been watching me, have you?
Oh yes, watching you. From all over. Ignatz. In absolute fairness, I think I've kind of forgotten about him up until recently. I feel bad about that, but yeah. Ignatz doesn't exactly strike me as a person who stands out. Hopefully that changes very shortly.
No, I misspoke. Did I say painting? I meant to say,
You paint?
well, I've thought for a while that it might be nice to paint the scenery here.
No.
The contours of that tree, set against the stark shapes of the faraway peaks. Of course, I only paint after I've finished my chores. I'd never put my art before my responsibilities. My studies are paramount. I shall always uphold my duties as a student of the Officers' Academy.
Good.
Whereas art is a hobby of mine, you might say. Everyone has hobbies, right? I'm sure you have one.
Indeed. Probably. Apparently not. Apparently I have no hobbies. My hobbies include talking with students, getting to know students, giving gifts to students, inviting students to my class, having students in my class, throwing them into battle as adjutants.
Oh, well, perhaps it's different for you, Professor. But it's perfectly normal for people to have hobbies. Reading, for instance, or fishing, or taking midday naps. For me, it's making art.
Midday naps is not a hobby, that's just being tired or getting caught up on what sleep you missed. I don't know if it's a hobby. Unless you're talking about Linhardt, in which case it's not a hobby, it's a way of life.
Hobbies are healthy. They're a good way of relieving stress. you might consider taking up a hobby, Professor. Anything to clear your mind. Think about it. It's much easier to focus if you're feeling refreshed. There isn't a rule against hobbies, is there? If you tell me to stop, I'll stop. I shall never again put brush to canvas.
That's not what I'm saying.
Really? It's okay for me to paint? Well, I mean, if you're sure. But really, it's nothing more than a little diversion, a frivolous pastime. I think I ought to go back to my quarters now, if it's all the same to you.
You know, he actually brings up a very good point. Having hobbies gives you that fulfillment you wouldn't otherwise have at, say, your job. I know these kids they're studying and they're going into battle. That's their quote-unquote job in the world right now. But having the hobby really just rounds out your experience in life. Like for me, I'm doing these Let's Plays and doing all this editing. It gives me an artistic outlet that I don't normally have. And it allows me to, you know, enjoy some video games at the same time. It's something that offsets the work schedule I work in my full-time job that gives me that outlet, gives me that opportunity to look forward to something engaging outside of work. It's nice. I agree with him. I like Ignatz. He's cool. He has made it onto my books as someone to keep an eye on. Yeah. Oops, excuse me. Yeah. Alright, we have some more. Let's see here. Ferdinand and Dorothea. Oh boy, this should be fun.
Ah, Dorothea. The dining hall seems so much brighter with you here.
Ferdy, I must say you are quite adept with flattery. Please, give me some more.
Flattery? No, I was not... There you go with that attitude again. Why do you reserve such cold treatment for me and me alone? Do you hate me, Dorothea? Or have you some other reason to avoid my company?
It's probably his nobility. It is desire to push it on others.
I underestimated you. I assumed your noble upbringing had dulled your perception. But you got it right on your first try. I hate you.
Excellent. Glad we got that out in the open.
Huh, I was right. Might I ask why you find me so despicable? I can scarcely guess.
Don't waste another minute thinking about it.
Ooh.
That will not do. I do not think you would hate a person for no reason.
Perhaps. How's this? If you can guess why, I'll let you know if you're right. The brains of us common folk are so simple, it should be pretty easy for a big shot noble to sort out.
Well, that is... Dorothea, that's not even fair.
Very well. I cannot walk away from a challenge. I have no choice but to chance a guess.
Of course, it's a direct hit on his weakness.
You are always making fun, calling me a big shot and so forth. Perhaps you think all nobles are... No, it cannot be that simple.
Oh? What can't be that simple?
Please, will you not give me a clue?
Well, let me see. A good clue? I know. It's because you're like a bee.
Okay.
That ought to be enough of a clue. So long, Ferdy.
A bee? I haven't the slightest. Perhaps because I am such a diligent worker?
I suspect what she references is the fact that they are all drones in nobility, performing under a very specific set of standards and rules that they have to abide and play the game. Remember, they dance in tandem all the time, listen to one queen bee, and they don't have individual thought of their own. There could be a couple different ways to interpret that, and Dorothea just gave him a quite a severe burn there. Yeah, I don't think so, Ferdinand. I don't think so. I don't think so one bit. Sorry, buddy. Marianne and Linhardt. Ooh.
These ones look good. I probably shouldn't pick them, though.
Ah, Marianne. Harvesting the crops?
Oh, yes, Linhardt. I found which vegetables are ripe and ready, but would you mind picking them for me?
See, you've mistaken me for someone who sticks his hands in the dirt.
Oh, Linhardt. You are so wonderful.
I'm just afraid that if I touch them, well,
Oh, I see. You're afraid everyone who eats them will suffer bad luck.
yes, it's true. I wouldn't want anyone else to suffer because of me.
Marianne, that's simply not the way the world works. You see... Oh, forget it. Tell me which ones to pick.
Whoa. Linhardt. Marianne's really getting to him. Normally he just kind of pushes that off on, off to the side because he doesn't want to deal with it. So he comes up with an excuse and walks off. But this time, does he know something about the crest and what it does that he recognizes that it is a true burden to her? I guess we'll find out.
Thank you so much, Linhardt.
Happy to help, but I'm beat. You'll have to carry them yourself, so take them straight in, okay?
Okay.
Oh, actually, before I go, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Here we go.
I've been thinking, isn't it more the case your crest brings happiness rather than bad luck?
Happiness? I don't understand.
Yes, happiness. Because your crest is so rare. It excites my mind, and, well, if not for your crest, we might never have met. And I feel that would be a tremendous loss.
Ooh. Now there's a part of me that says that he's just being a scientist and really appreciative of getting to study really cool things. But another part of me thinks that he's being extremely genuine regarding their relationship. Maybe he truly does feel that if he never met her, it would be a tremendous loss. Oh, it's so awesome. Okay. This is only a B rank, Jax. Just put your tears away. We're fine.
Backbreaking as it was, I enjoyed today. I'm quite happy right now, and it's due entirely to your crest.
Linhardt, who are you? Where? What? Manual labor? Happiness? Who are you?
I suppose so when you put it that way, but
It's a huge breakthrough to know that your crest causes happiness instead of bad luck. I'd love to study it thoroughly, but only if you'd agree. Really, I just want to find a way for your crest to bring you happiness too.
My gosh, Linhardt.
I'm sorry, but I can't. I have to decline.
I understand. May I ask one more thing, though? Could you please hand me one of those vegetables?
I don't think that's a good idea, but if you insist.
Thank you, Marianne. I think this looks like a very lucky vegetable.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. I love that so much. Wow. Linhardt. He acts like he doesn't care all the time, but he is always very, very perceptive. It's just that until he builds that relationship, he doesn't have a care in the world outside of scientific curiosity. I mean, sure, he's still driven to study the crest. He still wants to find out more about it. But at the same time, he also wants the opportunity to show her that crests are interesting and fascinating and exciting. And he just wants to share that. Oh my gosh! Okay. Whew. Anyway, I had a good time. That was fun. Anyway, let me save this and we'll move on to what are we doing next? We are instructing. And then moving to our next day. See you there.